Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I thought you could do with a little bit of a video update of the adventures of Pickles. Yeah, he is an absolute little darling. As you can see, he's having a very fun morning this morning, running around, causing mayhem and panic. However, he's fascinated by the washing machine at the moment as well. And he's obviously looking at Jane's bowl as well. Oh, look, he's discovered the milk. No, he hasn't. He's off. And he's off to his little house. That's where he was born, in that little igloo. So there you go. That's little Pickles, little darling that he is. Oh, I hope people are like seeing him. There you go. Morning, Lindsay. How are you doing today? Right. What a beautiful, beautiful morning. Look at that sky. Yes, we've got a little bit of waspy cloud. It's feeling a lot cooler than it did yesterday, that is for sure. As you are probably aware, last night we had the opening of Magdalena's, which went swimmingly well. It was basically last night, it was cocktails, chat and catch up. Obviously having to follow all the restrictions that are in place. People with their secretive transistor radios hidden away for music. And the nice thing was I was showing people the MyTuner app for Beats Radio yesterday, and so people were tuning in, listening to Beats Radio in the bar. Dennis was very impressed with the sound, by the way, Ben. So he's decided that as soon as we're allowed music playing in the bar again, we're going to be locked into Beats Radio all through the summer. Because of the variations of the music. He was very, very impressed yesterday, and listening to your broadcast in the early hours of this morning as well. You were on fire, mate. You were having a great time. So all in all, yesterday was great. It was great seeing people that we've not seen in months. Alex has returned from the UK. He was one of those on the flights yesterday, and he managed to get back. Cost him £98 for testing, but he said it was worth every penny. To be able to get home, see his mum, and also see his brothers as well, and be back and see his dad as well. So he said, yeah, well worth it. He's put a bit of weight on, but we're not going to talk about that, all right? But he'll soon get slimmed down once we all get back to work. Anyway, as for the weather today, is from Amanda, who we met up with last night as well. The weather girl was out last night as well. Today she says, morning Ginge, Sunday's weather, sunny and warm, some cloud. Yep, that's true. Highs of 25. It will feel like 29. Enjoy the day. And we certainly will enjoy the day. Let me just quickly flick the screen round as well. And just to let you know, been looking at the arrivals today. Now, the arrivals today, I'm going to tell you what is here or is coming. Sky Express from Athens, that has come. Got a Condor flight from Dusseldorf. So the Germans are here. That is coming this morning. We've also got a Dutch Airlines flight, a Corendon flight. That's coming from Amsterdam. Now, we should have had a TUI Airways flight from Birmingham. We should have had a TUI Airways flight from Manchester. We should have had a TUI Airways flight from Bournemouth. Then we should have had a Gatwick flight from London. And we should have also had a TUI Airways flight from Bristol as well. Unfortunately, no news on them. I don't think they're going to be coming. I think those are cancelled flights at the moment. But we have got a second flight in from Athens today, and we've also got a flight in from Kefalonia as well as the flights for today. So, and there's also a private flight, a ZZZ flight. I don't know who they are. Probably some oligarch flying into the island to take up residence somewhere. Probably Russian or something like that. But again, that is the flights for today. Just a shame. We would have been seeing quite a few Brits arriving today. But obviously not. Right, let's have a quick look then at the infection rate in the last 24 hours here across Greece. Good news is it's starting to dip down again. Yesterday I reported to you 1,585 new infections across the country. Well, at the moment, that number has dropped down to 1,497 new infections. So that is a good point. When it comes to cases being identified into the country, that number's dropped down as well. Yesterday, I reported to you 6 cases were identified at ports of entry into the country. At the moment, that has dipped down to 1 case being identified at ports of entry. Now, when it comes to the national stats across the Ionian Islands, at the moment, there's been 1 case reported in Macardo. There's been 1 case reported in Kefalonia. There's been 25 cases reported in Corfu. That number's up slightly from the 19 on the day before. And there's only been 1 case reported in Zakynthos on the national stats. But when we look at locally reported cases, there is no report at all. So at the moment, our case rate for May at the moment stands around about 38 cases here since the beginning of May, which is a lot less than last month where we had 177 in April and the month before that 184. So the rate actually is dropping. Now, when it comes to deaths across Greece, that rate really has dropped within the last 24 hours. Last time I reported to you 40 new cases of deaths recorded across the country. Well, at the moment, we've had 29 new cases of deaths across the country, which is a considerable drop. So hopefully that is standing us in good stead. And once again, our condolences to those families affected. That means at the moment, since the pandemic started, Greece has had 12,024 deaths in total since the beginning of the pandemic, which again is tiny in comparison to a lot of other places, especially the UK, who reported obviously a lot more. When it comes to critical cases at the moment, those cases are also down as well. I did report to you the other day, 521 people in ICUs across the country. Well, at the moment, that number has now dropped down to 510 people in critical cases in ICUs across the country. That's 311 male and also 199 female. How many of those people are deaths? I.e. they've come off that list because they've obviously passed away. Again, that's never been truly explained to us. But anyway, at least the critical care facilities now are obviously in a much more manageable state. So again, once again, we'll see what transpires there. Right, now, when it comes to the news, this is what's been going on at the moment. The Greek Deputy Minister of Civil Protection and Crisis Management, Nikos Hardalias, issued a stern warning at the weekend that it would be a disaster if there was a pandemic spike on the islands during the summer. Now, nothing is over, he said, and it will be disastrous to have local outbreaks, let alone on the islands, let alone in a tourist destination. He also said during a visit to the Ionian island of Corfu, and Corfu at the moment in the Ionian has been quite hard hit at the moment with infections. Anyway, he's been stressing that the public must wear masks, observe physical distancing and avoid unnecessary gatherings. He also said this is a recommendation, a request to everyone. We must all set a good example. I'm appealing to everyone to please observe the measures while calling on people to get vaccinated. I knew that was going to be coming in somewhere in his speech. Anyway, the important thing is to return to normality step by step. To do this, to do these 2 things are needed to build a wall of immunity through vaccinations. Meanwhile, a total of €5,000 in fines were imposed by police on the owners of two restaurants in Thessaloniki for violating the rules of operation within the context of coronavirus. Anyway, more specifically, a taverna owner was slapped with a €3,000 fine in order to close his business for 15 days because he'd served 2 customers indoors, which is in violation of the current rules at the moment. The customers were also fined €300 each, and a fine of €2,000 was imposed on a cafe bar owner for violating the music ban at the moment that's in place. And I was saying to Dennis last night, I just feel that the police are now going to be under pressure to impose these restrictions, especially with the run-up to waiting for Britain to put Greece into the green, or put Zakynthos into the green list. And so therefore we're going to probably see very hard policing for misdemeanors, etc., within the COVID virus regulations. So at the moment, no music anywhere. It's put your earbuds in and listen to your music and shout. Oh, you can't shout loudly either while you're trying to chat above the music in your ear hole. Anyway, it didn't seem much of a problem last night. Everybody was just happy to talk and chat and catch up on our opening night. Anyway, also as well, Minister Giorgos Georgantas on Saturday morning said the number of fully vaccinated residents will reach 2 million later Saturday. The Deputy Digital Governance Minister also said the number is slightly less than 20% of Greece's total population. Georgantas said that in June, the pandemic situation in Greece will be significantly different as vaccines become available to more age groups. Early Saturday, the online vaccination booking platform open to anyone over the age of 18 and to the with the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Previously, the platform with all 4 vaccines on offer had opened to the 35 to 39-year-olds. That was on the 26th of May, and to the 40 to the 44 age groups on May the 21st. And once again, if you're somebody who wants to have the vaccine, best advice here in Zakynthos, go see your local pharmacist and they will sort you out an appointment. And also as well, I was talking to people yesterday saying that the pharmacies at the moment are having some issues at the moment, although I've got to look into this, about getting the self-test kits free of charge using your AMCA number, so that if you're working with hospitality, you can obviously self-test at the moment. There are people like myself who don't want the vaccine, quite happy to self-test, but at the moment it seems to be a little bit difficult for people like myself to get a hold of one of these tests. Not that I have tried at the moment, but people have come to me and said, we're finding it difficult, Ginge, to get the self-test. Now, the thing is, I'm not saying there's a conspiracy theory here, but you still, even though you've been vaccinated, you still have to self-test. So again, yeah, this is an issue that I think is we're going to see what happens as days go on. Anyway, another big meeting not related to COVID happened in Zakynthos, and I've taken this from the local press. See what your feelings are on this, all right? The grim situation concerning crime on Zakynthos was discussed in the city council by various factions during the last council meeting. After relevant discussions, it was agreed on a framework of decisions to combat the phenomenon. However, what needs to be mentioned is that a large number of police officers are expected in the next period to meet the needs of the tourist season, and this was promised by the Minister of Public Order. In his introduction, opposition leader Giorgos Georgantas said that on our island there is evidence of organised crime, and cited that the work of sociologists such as our fellow citizen Spiros Zenos highlighting the issue. He asked for a performance at the Ministry of Civil Protection and for an information day to be organised. So basically what he wants is basically to take his findings to the Ministry of Civil Protection, and obviously to discuss with them and show his evidence to those people at that level, which is obviously higher than the level of the local municipality here. He also presented evidence of crime studies in London and said that local government should play its part in resolving the issue. Now, the mayor recalled his personal experiences in the field of crime and noted that the problem is not solved by thesis nor by the city council. He said that he said that we should not zero in on the work of the minister, Kyriakides, and called for us not to sow fear in the people of Zakynthos. Anakastes, a councillor, said that the dialogue with society is needed and that crime is a matter of social and sociology intervention. She referred to the money laundering that has occurred with the matter of the shipwreck. She also referred to the murder of Dimis Korathatis, who was gunned down on a public street just a couple of weeks ago. And she also said that, in her opinion, that he should have been convicted from the first moment. And in fact, basically what she was saying, in effect, was that he had a career, everybody knew what he was up to, and basically nothing was really done to stop his activities, etc. So anyway, the heads of the other political groups within the makeup of the city council, including Christos Pratris, said that the tourism model of Laguna must be changed because the easy money that's generated also brings crime. Also, Councillor Mr. Kalaras also asked to have quick solutions to these, and for another councillor, Kolokas, also asked to highlight the causes of the problems. Well, to be honest, everybody who lives here knows the causes of the problems. It's the fact that Laguna has always done things its own way. It doesn't necessarily follow the letter of the law, and in some ways has paid lip service. And to be honest, people know how you would fix the problem, but sometimes people are too frightened to say too much about fixing the problem and just let it carry on because it doesn't directly affect them. But at the end of the day, people's lives are affected, businesses are affected because of the, shall we say, lack of policing that goes on in those areas. And if these guys knows they can get away with it, there's no comeback on them. They just happily carry on doing what they do with impunity. Anyway, after the discussion, information about the reinforcement of the police directorate of Zakynthos, that was given by the mayor, who said that communication with the police director, Mr. Sakis, he informed that the Minister of Citizens Protection, Mr. Kyriakides, he's going to be sending 100 police officers to our island this year for the needs of the summer. Now, what was not reported, and this is me saying this, okay, is whether this is an increase in the numbers that we normally see, because normally Zakynthos has always traditionally had a reinforcement of police from the mainland who are here to just basically help the police that are already here full time, to obviously help police. We get a lot of problems in the summer, one with organised crime coming in for burglaries, etc., etc. Also as well, just the fact that we have more people on the roads and on the streets driving about. We have more traffic problems. We have the problems that come with running a very successful tourist place. So therefore, more police are needed, obviously, to keep good order. So that has not been clarified. A bit like the hospital. You send people extra over during the pandemic to take up roles, but as soon as that is over, they disappear away. And again, the same here, the police disappear away again at the end of the season. Also, what's not been said is, are the police going to change their attitudes towards policing? We have here what I would call basically blue light policing. That means they drive with their blue lights flashing. Everybody behaves themselves until the blue lights pass. And as soon as the blue lights pass, everything then goes back to normal again, with mischief going on. So again, at the end of the day, taking and closing the police station in Laguna, nobody ever who lived here saw that as a good thing. You needed to have police on the ground in Laguna. Unfortunately, Laguna is the resort that gives Zakynthos from time to time a bad reputation. Even though it's just one part of the island, it's a part of the island that a lot of people associate with Zakynthos. And unfortunately, the reputation that that area has had, or is still having, does not bode itself well to a lot of, even Greeks are frightened to come to Laguna. So again, closing the police station down, never was that really fully explained, the reason behind it. Yes, they turned around and said it was to make us more efficient and better use of resources, blah, 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 blah. Well, why don't you build a proper police station in Laguna? Put it right in the middle of that location where it can be seen, shall we say. And also, what happened to community policing as well? I remember when the Devon and Dorset police came over and they ran community policing, where they would come out with the local police in their uniforms and they would walk up and down and go into bars, go into restaurants, not sit in a car and drive up and down with blue lights on. That doesn't stop crime. It's getting out, talking to bar owners, talking to the customers, creating a relationship which normally stops problems, nips things in the bud, and also gives the police an idea of what actually is going on, shall we say, behind the closed doors of clubs. Again, this is something I think at a higher level that has to be looked into, and any policeman worth his salt who runs this island, I can't believe that they don't get more involved. And it was quite interesting when I listened to the man from the police union here, who said about the complicity of, shall we say, the local municipality, as in the local council, that they felt that there's a complicity between some people there and what is going on in organised crime. For him to be saying that publicly, people know that there are certain characters and certain individuals who have had positions here, who have basically used that to their advantage, and sometimes criminally used that to their advantage. So there's an ongoing reputation there from way back. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens this summer in the way of policing. Also, with all the extra stuff that's been thrown at with curfews, social distancing, mask wearing and everything else. And now the boys right at the top of the chain saying we want to make sure that our season is safe. So therefore go out and make sure you send the message that music will not be tolerated, non-compliance to social distancing will not be tolerated, also serving people indoors will not be tolerated, and the way we do that is through hefty fines, etc, etc. So again, it's going to be interesting to see how policing actually does figure in this season as well, and hopefully, God forbid, we don't have any major instances like we've had in previous years. And some of these instances have never, ever been resolved, all right? People know who the characters are, they know who those get involved, and they just seem to carry on as if nothing has happened and destroyed lives in the process without a care or thought in the world. All right, so less of that, I'll crack on. Anyway, and finally, a little bit of good news for you. Now, the thing is about when you live in Greece, you never know what is under your feet. Wherever you walk, there's ancient history somewhere maybe surrounding you. Now, it's been interesting that archaeologists have actually unearthed an array of ancient treasures in Athens. Now, they unearthed these last November, but they're only just talking about them now after construction workers stumbled upon what they are describing as masterpieces while doing routine construction work on Aeolus Street in Athens. Now, the news is that they discovered the head of Hermes, the god of messages, the god of, communication, on Aeolus Street at a depth of only just 1.3 meters above the surface. And they reported this around the world. However, the imprints of history are continually being revealed, they say, in every part of Athens. And on the occasion of the discovery of Hermes, the Ministry of Culture is now compiling a brief history of the area and the important findings that have been discovered there. Now, the Ministry of Culture has begun restoration efforts on these marvellous pieces that were hidden under the ancient streets for centuries. And Aeolus Street is about 800 meters from the foot of the Acropolis Hills. And they say that this noisy street in the bustling heart of Athens was created as far back as the ancient archaic period. So there you go. You never know what's under your feet. The same as in London. It's always amazing what they discover there. But it's nice to see that history's not dead. And I think whenever you do work or build something, especially in the UK, the first thing that has to happen is an archaeological dig has to go in before the build begins. But sometimes these archaeological digs actually do find something that is of significance and something that would be lost forever, and also clarifies what actually went on there in years before. Sound like Time Team now, don't I? Right, okay, let's have a look, see who's tuning in at the moment. Once again, Lindsay Lamb is tuning in. Nice to see you, Lindsay. I hope you're doing all right. Julie Meldrum is also tuning in as well. Thank you, Julie. Carol Davis is watching as well. I hope you're having a good one. Andy Orchard, first line responder down there in London. He's also tuning in at the moment. Nice to see you tuning in, Andy. Mike Glattonley as well. He's tuning in as well. Nice to have you looking in as well. Caroline Davis is watching as well. It's doing that again. Caroline Davis says, hi, Ginge from a sunny Bridgenorth. Bridgenorth, where is that? That name rings a bell. I'm trying to think where that is. But anyway, I'm glad you've got some sun over your bank holiday weekend. Also as well, Alf Ling is tuning in as well. Barbara Telfer is tuning in. We've also got, who else is that? It's doing that thing again where it keeps bouncing back up to the top. Do you know what? I'm going to have a look at the settings on this. Ian, Dave Camp is tuning in. He says, howdy, Podner. Bright sunshine, good temperatures expected today. Is that where you are? Brian Slinger says, morning, buddy, from a sunny Wharton in Lancashire. Say hello to Marty the Mod. I will do. Is he tuning in at the moment? Hello, Marty the Mod. I will say hello. That actually reminds me, Brian, don't forget today, beatsradio.co.uk, 5 o'clock your time in the UK. It's my Northern Soul show. All right, absolutely love that show. That's going out. It should be going out at 5 o'clock. It might change slightly because of the bank holiday weekend. Beats doing lots of little events online. But the Northern Soul show is on today. I'll put some PR up regards that as well. All right. Who else have we got looking in at the moment? There's people obviously adding comments. It says, good morning, Ginge and Jane from misty Huddersfield. That sounds like Boothie tuning in. Also, the lovely Christine Coldwell, she's tuning in from Leighton Buzzard. Nice to see you here. John David Hester says, yes, the sun is out. Whereabouts are you, Dave? I think you're Sheffield way, aren't you, if I remember rightly? Billy Hester is watching. Geraldine Bow is watching as well. Anyway, Liz Saunders, you're watching too. Any more information? And other people are saying morning. Oh, Marie Tralentom. That's an unusual spelling of Marie. He goes, hi, Bridgenorth, not far from RAF Cosford. Oh, I remember RAF Cosford. I think I DJ'd there a couple of times. Yes, I definitely DJ'd at Cosford a few times. Did some gigs up there at RAF Cosford. It's where they train all engineers and people who work on aircraft at Cosford. Yes, and they've also got a very big sports centre there. Used to do a lot of big sporting events there years ago. I don't think they use it anymore like they used to. Anyway, nice little memory there of RAF Cosford. Also, Andy Orchard. I've already said Andy Orchard. Right, that's it, I think. I think I've said hello to everybody. Stockport is, I think, where John David Esther is from. Thank you, fella. Right, that's it from me for today. I'll keep my ear close to the ground. Once again, just to remind you, Magdalena's bar is now open. It opens at 6 o'clock at night and it stays open till round about midnight. Obviously, we have to be careful because there's curfew and they obviously have to shut the bar, close it down before curfew kicks in at half past 12 at night. Again, those above us, please lift the curfew, stop the music ban. Let's get back to normality for when people come on holiday. And those people that are here, I hope you're enjoying yourselves. To be honest, it is quite quiet at the moment around the resort. We had a few in last night, which was good, mainly friends. And again, it's that slow build. Waiting to see how things progress and how things change. But at least we're open. we got cocktails, we got friendly staff for a chat. Downstairs at the front of the bar, which is technically classed as the outside, is nice and warm. It's not been cold as well, so that's a great thing. Go down, see the boys down there, say hello, and enjoy, okay? And I'll keep my ear to the ground. If I hear anything, I'll let you know. Anyway, big shout out to Carol Jameson tuning in as well. Nice to have you looking in. I'll give you a wave back. There we go. And also Wiggy Win Stanley over there in Limassol in Cyprus, the ambassador for Wigan. Nice to have you tuning in. Thank you for your messages this morning, fella. And don't forget the Northern Soul show today, later on Beats Radio. I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.